And if he didn't escape and didn't share this story, we would never know that there was some resistance that happened in North Korean soil. When these concentration camps, like the inmates go there, their eyes folded and they don't know where they're going. I was able to see literally China through my naked eyes and seeing the lights coming from it. That gave me a hint that maybe China was better than us. If I go where the lights were, I might find something to eat. North Koreans, it is true that we've been kept so unbelievably ignorant that most of people in these free countries can't even fathom. Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. My name is Yeonmi Park. I'm a North Korean de facto human rights activist. So today in this video, I'm going to share something very new. A lot of you have asked me in the past that why there is no revolution, why there hasn't been any revolution in North Korea. Even though I was keep saying, how do you fight when you don't know your slaves? And still this question bothered me because when you even stab on an insect, they try to fight to survive. And I was thinking, why in North Korea, the same people, there hasn't been any revolution? Turns out it is because North Korea is deleting history continuously, so North Koreans do not learn that there were people actually standing up for their life and for their rights. And one of the instances that I found in North Korean history that when people resisted was actually recorded. And I was able to find that information through my research. So let's talk about the revolution in North Korea, guys, for the first time. How it began and what happened and what were the results. The revolution, that very small revolution, the resistance actually happened in the darkest and most oppressive location in North Korea's concentration camp. That concentration camp was called Camp 12. It was located in the northern part of North Korea. And one day, there was an inmate who was being beaten by the guard mercilessly. And he got so fed up, at some point, he actually hit the guard back. The guard was so furious, he would literally shoot him to death on the spot. And the other inmates, looking at this right next to him, got all very angry. So they killed the guard. And then there were around several these inmates gathered, and they moved to the village that the guards were living in. So here I'm gonna give you just quickly a background information about the concentration camp. It's really different from the prison camps, guys. Prison camps are where people can go and come out once they serve their sentence. But the concentration camps are usually you never come out. It is a kind of a literal if there's a North Korea, there's almost another country being built that people cannot leave that fence. In this concentration camp, the guards also have to live on the site. They usually bring their family members. It is almost being an ambassador to some other country. They bring their family. There is a village for the guards, and there are parts other inmates would live and where they can work. In this northern part, there was a big coal mining town. So therefore, the inmates were working at these sites. They were gathered and then actually attacked the village where the guards were living in. They went there, they killed several guards. But and what you think would happen? The North Korea, of course, had zero mercy for these inmates. They literally used machine guns and later used artillery to shoot them. It was almost like people who lived in that town remembered it as that entire day. They heard these gunshots every second. With the consequences of this rising, the Wikipedia recorded that more than 5,000 inmates died on that day. and more realistically, I think several thousand. And this information got out actually by the one of the guard who escaped later. His name is Mr. An. He went there in 1987 in August, but this uprising happened in 1987 March. Several months later, he went, actually May, so 3 months later, he went there as a guard, newly assigned guard, and they were still burning a lot of human inmates' bodies. And he asked people from who were working as a guard previously, asked them what happened, and they told him the story. There were huge uprising, and they are actually locking down the camp and then moving the old inmates to different parts. And if he didn't escape and didn't share this story, we would never know that there was some resistance that happened in North Korean soil. This story about the saddest part is that actually is this concentration camp, the Camp 12, was located just by walking 1 hour away from the Chinese border, guys. Then the problem though is that the guards, when these concentration camps, like the inmates go there, their eyes folded and they don't know where they're going. I talked about in my previous videos that I never seen the map of the world. I never learned the geology. The regime kept me ignorant, not knowing things on purpose, so I couldn't fight for things, for my rights or my country. Inmates had no clue that when they went there, if they tried their best to escape together, they could have actually gone to China. In the 80s, the surveillance was never anything bad, like close to what it is today. It was way more easier to escape to China, and even security, the Chinese lockdown wasn't even as bad. The only thing is that these inmates had no clue where they were located. Because when they would go, these officials would come and folding their eyes and put them in the car and not letting them see anything. When they arrive in the camp, they have no idea where they are. And also the other part is that in the 80s, people still didn't have the knowledge about escape. I did not know either, but later, because I moved back to the border town and I was able to see literally China through my naked eyes and seeing the lights coming from it. That gave me a hint that maybe China was better than us. If I go where the lights were, I might find something to eat. That is why I escaped. But this inmate wasn't even able to see those lights coming from China. Now, sadly, North Korea is moving all their concentration camps and other camps, moving back into the inner parts of North Korea, because they know that the recent concentration camps inmates were the ones like defectors, or the ones who were trying to escape, and the ones with knowledge about the world. Therefore, North Korea can't afford to putting these inmates right next to China anymore. Whole about this incident that I learned is that even though it was failed uprising, it still gave me so much hope to just hear that there were people fighting for their rights, for their survival, for their life. And North Koreans, it is true that we've been kept so unbelievably ignorant that most of people in these free countries can't even fathom. But now that change is beginning in North Korea. The outside information is getting in. As I shared a few days ago on my video about how Kim Jong-un had to come out to apologize to people about the horrific situation that North Koreans are in. In my time, guys, the God apologize was unthinkable act. He would say, God knows all. He would always say, I can do the miracles. I can never do wrong. And Kim Jong-un knows that he can't pretend being a God anymore. North Koreans know the truth, and more of them knowing every single day. And this is why I'm hopeful. That's, the seed was planted in North Koreans' hearts that we want change, we want freedom, we want human rights. I'm dedicated to spend my time to researching more topics like this to share with the world. To me, I think the biggest fear that I faced in the death moments when I was crossing the Gobi Desert was not dying like my own father. No one knew that he ever existed because nobody told his story. But by telling stories about these people's stories, they will never vanish. I think we all know now we all know these inmates were in this earth like us and came to this life and went by fighting for their life. Even though they failed, it's so much heartwarming for me. I'm so grateful, guys, that you care about North Korean people and willing to fight with me to free them. And please show me and show your support to North Korean people continuously, and let me know what you want to see in the next videos. Thank you guys, and see you all next time.